familiar places. Key to be, keep your secrets across and press in their sockets. Name degrade to dust. From the record, they're never opened in no pockets here, only what remains tagged in dust of the number of the pains of what's like this design in disguise. The failure where the record lies called nothing. Loss persists, but won't go will always show. Catch skeleton in the story. Scale. Truth no linking. Living hand with the yield of waiting. Echoing over your never answers in time to somehow find the distance. There's a chalk thick dust. This is what is said. This is what is done. For words blow away. There's nothing happening again. For the tongue numb. Swallowing a ruin. The unproof roof. For this is the best. Testament of the leading. Leaking through. Do not choose this archive route. This is choose my breath and not to mark your death with the lust. Hush the bones and hung low. Count slow. The truth grows where none go. Ink sinks in. Skin thin, ledger within. There's a place for no one outline left. This is no one bones in the sagging air for the prayer rare. Repair for the nothing left but the wear for the persistent here. Resist here. Insist here. Exists here. And now when I speak, hands breathe. Something older speaks beneath and among the remains of every version of me. That learned too late the survival of leaving your body behind. Call this anything but what it is, a language. Rename the pain to make it vanish. Record for the legend, for the place where you can deny to come to die and not find somehow. Not to forget, call it the records of throat. Buried alive in an alibi for what it is. If a ghost must hum where the truth was banned, but let them sing and I understand. To the rope, each line a fracture for each word a track for this shelf that remained and no care for the divide. The room stood up inside for this where the visitors hope. Threshold smiled right tight, carefully for the painful memory, rattling for the evidence of the settling of the sound for the bone known, unknown. Eyes skipping on the floor, like this, the truth might be like this is unlike the fight. But you dislike. I might call still echoing, never answer. Time is hollow. Fear has anchored the clock, not mock time. Stop. You have breath, depth, peeps, open, kept, never slept, didn't collect. This is the passive inherited silence and passed down like barrel with the leanage. They don't say it yet, that sometimes they rattle with the breathe and not the hunting for the sickness of the shifting of your every time for the need to be standing and for your spine line for this to find a fracture of the and for all the right for stack for this is like the accusation for the jawbones frozen to mid sentence of the finger still pointing out to everyone for the hers. Forgetting teeth, there's a keep secrets of the press and the sockets of the name, the grave, the dust, there's a keep for the records that never open for your pockets here, the only within the remains tagged into dust, what numbered the pain for the flicks that wait for the not disguise, but the failure to where the record lies. Call it nothing or something. Call it what it was said, for this is what was done, filed away, for nothing happened, for the tongue numb enough to swallow, but the pain unproof of the roof is caving. You reach to grab and get the legs holding it high above your head for the water pouring over like the gush of the flood, a river for the lifeless body of the grass at the back for the that will be the old house. This is the push into the breath of breathing again for the tempting your resolution over the several minutes of labor. You can find what had to give up for the resurrection for this to be the passion that was left. The last breath of catch. Tough enough the heart bigger than anyone could expect. Small. Far back as I can remember that you can find those some things laugh at us about some situation but the wondering of where they learned how to swim, kept large, or it was dug line lived to fill the water for the enjoying the cool swim, but they wanted the other side of that. It was the old place that they could remember but long for. Because you are so far this beneath my league that you can never see how high I'll be for you with the right to win. With this really you lost because you had all the beef for the win you never earned the fraction of. And it was the satisfaction of what you couldn't contain, for this is somehow you couldn't, but the wouldn't never find a contraction.
The timestamp, fine relevance of the broken bend, the me for the break, destroyed every part of me, the good hope and break shape. What's the bitterness and not the quality for the one chose? The manifest after defeat for the bitterness only makes that man for this soon consume one monetary feeling to become obsolete, disused. Moments in the eyes meet the love of this life for this to be the burning around. Then for the pale in the compensation over your comparison to the fire, but igniting together. So who am I for the who to know anymore for the each fighter out of time for the fire to occupy in the mind for the can't sit still. Thoughts run wild to forget all you know for the who you think you are for the everything that's made out of it's gone. And like watching over the snowfall mountains and every flake in another person's who's once met for the same two perfectly falling snowflakes this for one another for they're not the same. Or the symmetry for the love for the want to be such sweet bliss of the running through golden grain fields for the innocence of a child for the capable of the falling in the love of the sight is the reality for the eventually for that you could look back into the pinpoint. Scorn to the new ground remind to the heart not yet. Perfectly untouched for the destruction of the emotion of pain, and this is the peace in deeds. I've been in the peace for years restlessly, for this has been the time but the dark to watch all the eyes blasphemy of the freedom for the this to be. Watch the ocean fleet, and fret for not to know the wind for the battle ready for the you can have the land hush this hour for the deep while. The smile, the smell, the daisies of the bringing in over your thought for the feeling of fine, full, white petals and the speckle over your house. Far away for the being, far for the way for the beat. Me listen to me for the better than anyone ever has to this end, then for the something familiar, but you can have the same time. The world will show you things of everything. Says to give up but just another day for the disrespect you not to understand for the try to explain yourself for that's the mean to brighter look in your eyes at the scene of fire for the brighter passion to burn imperfect for the look of the glance of this in between or anything and everything in between for the random thoughts for this to define the day that we can't forget for the can't receipt or rate create for the natural to unforce this random imperfect ways that we are faceless to the time for the place that where we felt myself and never felt before or pace walk with you seen the point walk the light together for the we were in different places and path just need not to laugh for the wished out the more around in the mountains that I would say enough of the grief of the whenever over your grizzly country over your colors so perfect enough to paint brushes the shade for the rainbow scattered over your sky. Journal over the thoughts of myself for the cliff and over I have that completely over your truly and never knew I was there for the this to be the taste of what you find in reminisce over you. What's to break the heart point for this palate or the counsel of the hearts of the because that only found. The hearts to melt and fade eventually silence whispers softly. Dreams inside the still. You are really not sad. In the back of my shoulder, I can't focus on the show. I think they're a band from Georgia. Won't you let me down? Gently. It ain't that for the little garden, for the lotus, and never the how to be everlasting garden grows. This is color love, it ain't perfect for the tidy your need for each member that you can be to make it so complete. To holding your hand for the let's stay the way for this way to put what you mean for what you got to say. Stretch it out, this is the sky that I cannot see. Well, my name after do little way for the real, but it's like the bark. Can I be tied for the flame, for the brain, working down the distance, dispensing of the group. It's the light about to see the Survivor by the terrorists, this is final wishing. Wishing for their fortress from the falling around your ears. And this is ever across the sky for the child of Navy. Find a food for the soul of wisdom, sand and whisper over the way they run into your blank. We'll love to this can touch your heart. Who's the dilly departed for the name, for the cannot be, for the touch of the ear, for the distance of the hear. From the surrender over the further into the nature for the you can go the way for the voyage. This unheard for the hinderness, for the uncertainty, for the certainty, for the illusion. What's your habit for the repetition, for the respite? Respite over the call for the over the mountain, finding needs to the seas, for the suffer, for the leaping up for your matters, over the urban matter, over much over the faith of beyond, for the love and necessity to believe. For the old me, you become, for the analyzing the scum, for the city to spring. Whatever you know now for the name for this type of this, you can serve it, turning around for this to be the ability to spell, the able to spell it before you can tell the pieces, this is the final but the pieces brought together, but given what it is to say. The spell, the spell, the front, the future, for the down, the to the red, whatever the back there for the time. So it's a realization of the question of free. Are you out of your mind? The biggest question. Where you at? What do you mean? So the growth of the finding the freedom, the making you say. This is the fun, sitting over yourself in the misery for the escape of the nonsense, and it's not you. Create that. Who's the warrior to stand against the current? Most die many times, they're good for the deeds of this cannot came up with the life for this to be the death of the labor for the self-inflictions for your concern. The reality for the enemy was ability, for the erasing them for the secret to the behind and hidden. This is the greatest, the pain for the expensive of your own. Representing for the self-inflicted, over you have it to find it. Over your critic and for the talking, for the accountability, for the destroying of the silver, the never the slaughter you with children. I know. Another hint for this to be mentioned, for the reaching to not feel me, for the not really know me like this, for the you can see me now, for the ocean between us, and to put it up there. Maybe me for the maybe you, for him for the over there making it even special enough for the necessarily care. You seek it in your eyes, or the drowning of the breath, this is only sometimes it remind me of you. The air, the despair, of the peace, and the only passion for the dishes, breathing the rage. Quiet the different roots with the ocean, the air, for the cannot look the same. The feeling is fine. More days than that now. Working for the key to the moving forward for one step at a time. What you have and never left is just a word for the mountain. Be something for the here and now, for the laugh, for the laugh, for the word for the cry, for the worthless, for the system, for the decision you not to think about. And I'm holding on so tight for this selected. Or should I be holding on or should I let go? But I'm thinking of reminding of the path of the redemption for this to be the head and neck of the rotation and the location for the event. Inevitable for the hope of some of the resemblance for the emblem of the seldom, for the random difference of the taste, for the rounded fine that goes around your digestion lightly over yourself without a transparent face. But here the effort for the uncoupling of the spell for the you nailed and never the what did you spell with the perfect imperfection for the shadow of the glass through that couldn't see you clearly over the shiver you adjust this for the yourself it's the same piece. Couldn't soften your edges for the beautiful work and you can have the missing pieces for the grave of the vanishing of it because it's usually sound found. This is what the born the servant for the simply change the day for the thing that and everything the body seems to ramble and nobody seems to crack. Hold the key to see the deep beat perspective for this flame. Spleen rampant and never pain for this to be the similar age according to what you call the metaphor or according to play the cinematic for the quiet to put yourself for the thought from the after the word for the thing gotta do with it maybe the simulation of the people that you find the burden upon the people that you can love it the habit the discipline for the grave for the shame for the name for the this would be the very end for the significance person significant in your life for the expectations are feeling the same not the overtime for the confusion of the brain for the matter for the brain over the matter for the mind of the heart you're hoping to find something tragic for the sounds familiar for this to be the the mind's crazy, this is lazy, this is not stagnant. I need to be beautiful. Nature's gift
fuck a new girl and her feeling senseless. Leave both battered and torn, I can't commit. Last time I did was almost committed to a psych ward, so now I psych myself out, saying I don't believe in love, knowing damn well a divine hand crusaded the agnostic out of me.
Never been.
I'll fuck a new girl and her feeling senseless. I'll fuck a new girl and her feeling senseless. Leave both battered and torn, I can't commit. Last time I did was almost committed to a psych ward, so now I psych myself out, saying I don't believe in love, knowing damn well a divine hand crusaded the agnostic out of me. If God is love, then I have felt his wrath, striking my chest with righteous judgment, leaving a rupture between my lungs and breastbone, pretending it wasn't either our fault. We were just two masses, fracturing to the other side of the cosmos. All is made a matter, so why didn't I matter to you? Just dark matter, empty space, something to fill the void. I tried to fill the void in someone else, but don't feel like your devotion. We became blasphemers, making mockery of each other's temples, calling it making love. No, Jesus restored us. The walls covered in the filth of our secrets, the burning aroma of our past transgressions, some unforgivable. Made love the only thing we believed in. Found pieces of my self-worth wrapped around your tongue. Literally sucked the soul out of me. I'm a ghost now. No holy, just literally sucked the soul out of me. I'm a ghost now. No holy, just hollow. Words vomit hollows, ripping through each other's flesh. We shifted into triggers. Oh fuck.